When we look back at the meteoric rise of supermodel and actress Cara Delevingne, it is incredibly easy to assume that someone with that level of global dominance, fierce confidence, and unapologetic sexuality has always had life completely figured out. We map out our own definitions of fulfillment onto icons, assuming that physical attraction, constant romantic pursuits, and high-energy validation equate to a state of absolute personal peace. But according to a deeply profound, raw personal profile featured by E! News, the legendary star is pulling back the curtain on a grueling internal battle she fought long before stepping out from the shadows. With her trademark unfiltered honesty, Delevingne opened up about how entering a dedicated recovery lifestyle completely transformed her most private spaces, admitting a staggering truth. After a lifetime of using substances to blur her reality, learning how to navigate sex completely sober has been one of the most difficult challenges of her entire journey. In her incredibly candid accounts, Delevingne details how her early life and skyrocketing career were heavily fueled by an intense, compulsive drive for validation that she heavily tied to her physical encounters. Before committing to a structured 12-step recovery program in 2022, she frequently internalized the idea that she was simply a highly hypersexual person who thrived entirely on dominant control. But through consistent psychiatric reflection and long-term sobriety, the pieces of the puzzle finally fell into place. She realized she had actually been trapped in a persistent loop, using the chemical rush of intimacy and the fleeting reassurance of others as a quick sensory buffer to escape a deep-seated wave of anxiety, loneliness, and confusion regarding her own pansexual identity. Confronting that behavior completely sober forced her to realize that she wasn't just seeking passion, she was desperately attempting to purchase a sense of love and belonging that she lacked on the inside. The real brilliance of Cara's profound vulnerability offers an invaluable lesson on how we approach the concept of a holistic recovery. Sober sex is incredibly difficult at first because it completely strips away the artificial confidence, chemical numbing, and superficial armor that individuals use to shield themselves from being seen. Without the fog of a substance, you are left entirely exposed to your own thoughts, fears, and underlying insecurities. But as Delevingne beautifully points out, stepping through that initial discomfort changes the entire architecture of a relationship. By choosing to step out from behind the shadow of control and allowing herself to be fully seen, even embracing the vulnerability of being submissive in her current relationship with musician Minky, she transformed intimacy from a cold transaction of validation into a deeply emotional, grounded, and safe space of authentic connection. Ultimately, Cara Delevingne's triumphant evolution proves that long-term recovery demands that we look far past the surface level of our habits and bravely question what we are attempting to soothe or escape. True wellness isn't just about putting down a drink or a drug. It is about building the internal capacity to tolerate reality, regulate our own nervous systems, and cultivate radical self-compassion. Her story serves as a striking modern reminder for our own journeys. We must be brave enough to confront our deepest blind spots, drop the masks of false confidence, and realize that authentic freedom only begins when we are willing to be completely honest about our struggles. This milestone personal retrospective was beautifully spotlighted by E! News, and you can access the full interview notes and recovery advocacy updates through the official links in our show notes.